The topic of my presentation is an introduction to econometrics. The presentation mainly focuses on two aspects: nature and scope of econometrics and the steps involved in the traditional methodology of econometrics. Econometrics is an important branch of economics. It is actually a combination of economic theory, mathematical economics and statistics. The word meaning of econometrics is economic measurement. However, even though this is a combination of all these three disciplines, it is completely distinct from each of these disciplines. In economic theory, we have some theories or statements or hypotheses which are qualitative in nature. We cannot provide any numerical measure of the nature of relationship between various economic variables with the help of economic theory alone. However, by using econometrics, we are able to provide unique numerical values for various parameters of economic relations. That is one of the most important advantages of econometrics. Then with the help of econometrics, we can calculate various propensities, elasticities and marginal values, etc. So, with the help of econometrics, we can empirically verify various economic theories also. Moreover, we can forecast future values by using econometric models. These are some of the important applications of econometrics. So, we can say that econometrics gives empirical content to economic theory. Now, let us examine what is the difference between a mathematical model and an econometric model. From demand theory, we know that demand for a commodity that depends on many things like price of that commodity, then price of related goods, income of the consumer and taste and preferences of consumers. So, let us examine a mathematical model. So, Q is equal to B0 minus B1P plus B2Y plus B3PS plus B4T. So, this is a mathematical model. Here Q is the dependent variable and Q represents quantity demanded. P is price of the commodity, then Y denotes income, PS shows price of related goods or price of substitutes, then T represents taste of consumers. Here this is the dependent variable, P, Y, PS and T are independent variables. Then B0, B1, B2, B3 and B4, they are the parameters of the model. This is a mathematical model. Then now let us examine an econometric model. Q is equal to B0 minus B1P plus B2Y plus B3PS plus B4T plus U. Plus U. This is an econometric model. Here, what is the difference between a mathematical model and an econometric model? In the mathematical model, see, the relationship between the dependent variable and various independent variables are exact. There is exact relationship. That means only these independent variables influence the dependent variable. However, in the econometric model, we have included a random term or a stochastic term which is represented by U. Here, this portion shows the exact relationship or deterministic relationship between Q and these variables. This is the stochastic term. This is the most important advantage of econometric model, because from the real world experience we know that apart from these independent variables, there are a large number of factors which can influence quantity demanded. So, in the econometric model, we are incorporating that also. U stands for all factors other than the independent variable specified here which can influence Q. So, this is the most important advantage of econometric model, and econometric model is different from mathematical model. Now, let us examine various steps involved in the traditional methodology of econometrics. There are 8 steps involved in the traditional methodology of econometrics, and let us examine those steps with the help of a simple Keynesian consumption function. Let us examine what are the important steps involved. First step is statement of theory or hypothesis. Always any econometric investigation starts from statement of theory or hypothesis. Then regarding Keynesian consumption function, as you all know, Keynesian consumption function states that as income increases, consumption also increases. However, increase in consumption will be less than proportionate to the increase in income. That is the statement of the theory. Then we can see that marginal propensity to consume, that is greater than 0, because as income increases, consumption also increases. However, increase in consumption will be less than proportionate to the increase in income. So, marginal propensity to consume lies between 0 and 1. So, this is the first step, statement of theory or hypothesis. Then coming to the next step. Next step is the specification of the mathematical model. So, consumption is a function of income. So, y is equal to beta 1 plus beta 2 x. This is the mathematical model. Here y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable, and here y stands for consumption and x stands for income. So, we have two variables, one dependent variable and one independent variable. Independent variable is also known as explanatory variable. And here we have two parameters, beta 1 and beta 2. Beta 1 is the intercept term and beta 2 is the slope term. So, this is the mathematical model. This is the mathematical model. This is the second step. Then specification of the econometric model is the next step. So, what is the difference between mathematical model and an econometric model? In the econometric model, we incorporate the random term or stochastic term also. So, y is equal to beta 1 plus beta 2 x plus u. This is the econometric model. Here we have one dependent variable and one independent variable. Of course, y denotes consumption and x denotes income. Beta 1 and beta 2 are the parameters, and here in the case of mathematical model, we assume that there is an exact relationship between consumption and income. Here we assume that apart from income, there are many factors which can influence consumption expenditure, and that so we have introduced a random term or error term, or that is also known as stochastic term. So, this is the stochastic component, this is the deterministic or exact component. So, here again beta 1, that is the intercept term, beta 2 is the it is the slope term which shows marginal propensity to consume. Fourth step is obtaining data. So, in order to estimate the parameters of the model, we have to collect data. By using data, we can estimate the parameters beta 1 and beta 2. So, the next step, fifth step is estimating the parameters. What is estimation? Obtaining numerical values for beta 1 and beta 2 is known as estimation. That is obtaining values, numerical values of the parameters of a model, that is the estimation process. And so, in econometrics, one of the main tools used for estimating the parameters is regression analysis. By using regression analysis, we can obtain numerical values for beta 1 and beta 2. Let us assume that beta 1 is equal to 184.08 and beta 2 is equal to 0.7064. So, we can write the estimated consumption function as y hat is equal to 184.08 plus 0.7064 x. This is the estimated consumption function, where y hat shows estimated consumption. This is equal to 184.08. This is the interceptor, and this is the slope term which represents marginal propensity to consume. So, this is the estimated regression model. Next step is testing of hypothesis. So, we have estimated that beta 2 is equal to, that is marginal propensity to consume is equal to 0.7064. So, according to Keynesian consumption function, value of marginal propensity to consume lies between 0 and 1. So, here also we obtained that beta 2 is equal to, this is almost equal to 0.71. So, we have to test the significance of this parameter, test the significance of the estimate. So, there are many methods to test the significance of the estimate. Here we are examining whether there is significant relationship between consumption and income, or we are examining whether it is due to the significant relationship between these two variables. We are trying to avoid, we are trying to show that it is not due to chance occurrence or due to the peculiarity of the data. So, we have to test the significance. Such confirmation or refutation of the theory on the basis of sample evidence is known as hypothesis testing. So, after that, the next step is forecasting or predicting future values of the dependent variable. So, forecasting or prediction is the 7th step. So, here with the help of the estimated parameters, we can forecast future values of consumption for given values or for known values of income. For example, let us assume that by 2020, by the year 2020, income is equal to 100 crores, 1000 crores. Then we can estimate the average consumption expenditure by substituting the value of y in the estimated regression model. That is, consumption for 2020 is equal to 184.08 plus 0.7064 into, we are substituting the value of income. So, we get it as 890.48. So, here with the help of the model, we are able to predict or forecast future consumption values, future values of consumption expenditure. This is an important application of econometric model. Next step is the use of the model for control or policy purpose. So, we can use the econometric model for policy purpose. So, let us assume that we want to obtain a target, we have a target consumption expenditure. See, for example, let us assume that the target consumption expenditure is 4,900 crores. So, then with the help of the model, we can examine or we can find out what level of income will guarantee this consumption expenditure. So, again we are substituting the values in the estimated model. 4,900 is equal to 184.08 plus 0.7064 into x. So, we have substituted the values. So, this is the targeted consumption expenditure. Then we can find out the value of income which will guarantee this consumption expenditure. So, then we can find out that x is equal to 6,676. So, in this way, this model can be used for control or policy purposes. So, last two steps shows important applications. They are two important applications of econometric models. That is, econometric model is used for prediction or forecasting, and it is also used for policy purpose. By manipulating this variable, we can obtain a targeted value of consumption or targeted value of the dependent variable. So, this is an important application of econometric model. These are the steps involved in the traditional econometric methodology. Let us consider a simple linear function in another class. Thank you.